Welcome to another build video brought to you by AZM for you. Today's build is going to be Bloodforge, a relentless all-red DPS build designed for maximum damage output while maintaining remarkable survivability through armor regeneration. This build thrives in high-pressure combat, allowing you to stay in the fight longer and without sacrificing raw power. Some of the key features of this build is like the weapon damage, armor regeneration, aggressive playstyle. You can play from long range, mid range, short range, and then just the synergy of the talents. This build is definitely ideal for those who dominate enemies while sustaining themselves through sheer offense and regeneration power. Forge your path in blood and emerge victorious.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play.
So getting into the build video, I'm going to go over the weapons. I'm using the Eagle Bear, a gun that I rarely ever use. But I decided to try it out, especially with this build, because I've been trying to find a gun that might work with this build, and therefore a little bit I was running the capacitor, in which you'll see in some of the clip where I'm running the capacitor with this build, and then you'll see where I'm running the EB with this build. Um, but out of the two, I found that the EB does a little bit more damage, and the fact that when you proc tenacity, it just becomes, I mean, it speaks for itself. It's just a tank with shitload of damage. Alright. So getting into the build, we're going to look at the guns. The first gun I'm using is the EB, a gun that I rarely ever use. But until I made this build, trying to look for weapons to see which one hits harder or benefits the build in a way that I can do damage. And I've tried the Bighorn, I've tried the capacitor, and yeah, they work. But nothing really stuck to me like the Eagle Bearer. And that's one gun that I don't ever use outside of PvE. So it was actually pretty nice to use a weapon that I don't normally use. For the ones that aren't sure, Eagle Bearer has the talent Eagle Strike. Accuracy increases as you continuously fire up to 30%. Headshot kills grant the tenacity buff for 15 seconds. The strength of tenacity is increased by 1% for the body shots and 5% for the headshots. Once tenacity is procced, you get 40 to 80% of damage taken is delayed until the buff is expired. All of the total delayed damage is reduced for each enemy killed while the buff is active up to 100% with 3 kills. Basically, as soon as I proc tenacity, I become a tank, an immortal agent, ready to take a shitload of damage and dish out a lot of DPS. As a placement holder, and sometimes I end up using it, I use a shotgun for the shotgun M870 Express for when I'm up close, just to change it up. But for the most part, it's just a placement holder. Um, The pistol is always a placement holder. I barely ever use a pistol, but usually I use the pistol that's accustomed to the specialization that I'm using. For the ones that seen my earlier build videos that kind of know how I am when it comes to the sidearm. But yeah, this will cover the weapons. Looking at the weapons before I get into the build, my EB's at 55 crit chance, 89 crit damage. And surprisingly, the crit damage is really low, but you'll see in the video that the amount of weapon damage that you get from the red core actually makes up for it. So it's actually not that bad. And then as for the shoddy, I'm at 50 crit chance and 69 crit damage, 65 headshot damage, but I don't ever go for headshot damage unless it's an actual headshot build. And then of course my sidearm, just to show it, it's at 55 crit chance, 69 crit damage. So getting into the build, I'm using armor regen pieces, but if you notice, they're all red. So going into the mask, I'm using Gilligard. Um, I use it for the weapon damage, the crit chance, the armor regen to ensure my crit chance is above 50%. Of course, I'm using the Ninja Bike backpack. That's how I'm able to get as much armor regen as I need to be able to sit there and have the survivability along with being able to use one extra piece for the DPS. For the ones that don't know, the Ninja Bike talent is called Resourceful. Slots with any equal or any equipped gear set or brand set item to fulfill a requirement towards unlocking a gear set bonus. Can unlock bonuses from multiple sets simultaneously, which means you need one piece of gear less than what you would normally need to unlock all three sets or one extra stat, which is why I'm using the two Gillas because the Ninja Bike actually unlocks all three as if I'm wearing three Gillas. So my second Gilligar will be on the holster, and as you see, I'm running weapon damage, crit chance, armor regen, and then that gives me the 2% armor regen. I get to the chest piece, I'm running the Bellstone with crit chance, armor regen, unbreakable for the survivability. Of course, that second stat actually isn't that bad, armor on kill, so it helps out when I get a kill. I'm using the Gilligard for the armor regen. Status effect just comes along with. Um, but it wouldn't be bad if you're using like a mortar like I do because a mortar causes bleed. Even if you're not using it for the skills, I use it as a deterrent or to make them stumble. Of course, most people freak out and they try to run around or get away from the mortar when they see you bring it out. Um, but this comes with weapon damage, crit damage, armor regen. And then I'm also running Fox's Prayer, weapon damage. Damage the target out of cover and armor regen. As for the skills, I'm using the drone to help for more survivability. And then I'm also using the artillery turret Mortar to apply bleed. Just because I'm wearing the golem, but I almost rock the mortar for every build that I use, regardless if it's a skill or not. If you choose not to run a mortar, you could probably run a Stinger Hive, foam, or the most one that people actually use is either between decoy or the sticky bomb. But either one's not bad. But yeah, this is a little bit different from what your traditional builds are, and I've come to actually like it. I mean, 5 red core and 2 red or blue core, so you're not exactly less than 1 mil, but you're not exactly without no armor to the point where you get depleted like it ain't nothing either. And then the armor regen on this thing is incredible. So let's go over to the. I'll go down to the firing range and I can show you the armor regen. So now that we're down here at the shooting range, as you see, I got it set to heroic. I'll show you the damage as far as number when it comes to the firing range. As far as PvE is concerned, this build is really nice because not having to depend on medkits at all. I mean, it's just a game changer. So 291 for body shots, headshots, about 406. But then when you sit there and proc tenacity and then you're in people's faces and you're just beaming them, it becomes detrimental. As far as PVE, it's a standalone. It's definitely something you can rock solo. As far as the DZ, it's definitely a build that I use a lot as a mixture of being able to be mid-range to long range instead of being up close and trying to do close quarter combat all the time. But as for the armor regen, if I take my armor regen down, well, let me, and as you can see, the amount of regen mixed with the strafing that I do allows me to get out of some hairy situations because most people tend to go after the all red builds. I mean, anybody knows if you're in the DZ, Most people try to go after you because they think you're the easiest one to take down. But I've had situations where they come after me and I'm able to sit there and actually get away because of the armor regen allowing me to get away by constantly feeding me that armor back as I'm strafing and trying to run around. And then eventually they get tired and stop chasing. And I've been in some situations where they actually stop chasing me altogether and just stop paying attention. And then they go to fight my team, and then when I come up and I'm actually able to do damage, it becomes a nuisance. And then that's exactly what you are, a nuisance, because you're in and out of combat. You're fucking leading them away, and then you're coming in to fight. So, yep. But I hope y'all definitely check it out. See what you think. Something different, something outside of the middle. Till next time, this is AZM for you. Over and out. I'm a running. They are chasing. They are chasing. No, 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 no. There's a whole shitload of them. Oh, you trying to get me? Little old me? Are you trying to get me? You almost got me. Keep on going. Keep on going. Keep on. Don't run away now.
Bro, take your mic out of your mouth, bro.
And play the game. GG's, bro. It's okay. Y'all just got destroyed. Destroyed. GG's, yo. GG's, seriously. That shit's fucking hilarious.